Welcome back to the LPR Trading Group YouTube channel here. It's Dave again, guys. I've got a trade right here that I want to run through for the day. Now, this is, well, a recorded live trade from today that we took in the chat room. I'm going to play this video here, and I'm going to go through some of the things that we saw in the chat room that sort of made us take this trade here. Now, as you can see, my layout's a little bit different. I want to give you guys some footprint context inside of these videos rather than just having the candlesticks up on the chart. I do want to apologize for not putting out as many videos over the past few weeks, but we've got the members, we've got the chat room. That's the priority. This is where I'm focusing. When I do find things in time to record, I'll definitely put content out here. With that being said, we'll move forward and check out this trade. So let's look at this trade here on the candlestick chart actually to begin with. Now, we've got a big rally on ES here off the open, and we actually missed a long off the open, which is unfortunate. So we just let price do its thing, and we wait for price to tell us either it's reversing or it's giving us a secondary entry to get long. We're looking for big defined pullback trades, which it did give us here, and a lot of members actually got long in this area and took this trade for a really nice ride for the majority of the day. There was also a nice pullback trade in here and in here. The trade that we're going to talk about today is the short that we took up in this area and why we took this short. Pull this to the side here, we'll look at the footprints. So the first thing that we want to see on the footprint chart is we've got our pushes up, we've got pullbacks, push up, pull back, push up. Now this is roughly 9:50 a.m. this morning. You can see once we start getting these pushes to the upside, we do start plopping in a few sell imbalances here, but nothing too strong. Sellers are trying to get in front of this thing and slow it down. We get some more as we start to push higher, and they get a little bit more aggressive. We haven't got a huge wash from the sellers yet, which is telling us that the buyers are giving up. We actually just continue grinding higher off all of these sell imbalances that get printed in here. So what we finally do see is once price pushes up here for the last time for this time period, we actually do get a nice wash. Now we have an unfinished auction here, which tells me that eventually it's going to want to go higher, but at this point we see the sellers really piling into this thing and creating some nice imbalances to the downside, while volume over the highs is weaker, primarily on this candle here. So let me play this trade out here and we'll talk through it. So we've got this big sell imbalance that gets put in on this candle. Sellers are really trying to push this thing down. As expected, buyers are going to try and buy this up, right? We do have imbalances here at the bottom saying buyers are still present, but this is the first time we've really seen a big wash to the downside here. We're also inside of a bigger picture zone or a bigger picture area that we were looking at in between 90 and about 94. This wasn't one of my A+ areas, but it is an area that we had laid out on the chart. Let me just flip forward here 30 seconds. Okay, so we're short 3 small contracts here. We're getting some more sell imbalances at the top of the candles here. The push to the upside actually failed. Buyers failed to push this higher. They're still trying to hold this up at the lows though. So what we want to see on this trade is we want to see some of these lows get broken with some sell pressure, and most of the pullbacks within this little range get met by sell pressure. We'll hop forward another 30 seconds here. And now we can see the sell pressure is actually moving down, right? We're starting to get these imbalances. Now, these numbers are incorrect. My chart is just squished too much. This is 140 something, and this is 100 and something here. So it is, in fact, an imbalance. My chart is just squished too much. So you can see now the sellers are really starting to pound this down. And on these candles here, we're getting, 130s by 19s, 210s by 10s. These are starting to look like some really strong imbalances to the downside. Sellers are taking control. Buyers have disappeared. We're 6 contracts into a position now. Our average is 3888.25. So our average is roughly around this area. Our stop is going to be up over the highs. So we're currently risking about 3.5 or 4 points on the trade. We let this trade iron out. We can see that buyers start to try and come in here. A very small amount of buyers actually starting to come in. Got a small imbalance in this area, but we do know that sellers were pounding the bid. And what the footprint's going to show us is going to show us participation at the market on the bid and the offer. okay? So market participation on the offer is going to be in the right column. Market participation at the bid is going to be in the left columns here. Let's skip forward another 30 seconds and see this unfold. We've got some more imbalances to the sell side here. They get taken out, but at least we see the presence of sellers trying to hit the bid here. Give another little fast forward. Now, I actually really like this move to the upside because this is a lot of weak, bad retail trying to buy this. When sellers have already showed their hand here, this is a lot of really bad, weak retail trying to push this up. You can tell as soon as all this buying starts, we do have sellers show presence at the market. We throw two imbalances right at the top of these candles, and I actually add more to the position here. So I get short two more contracts. I get short two more contracts again. So we're total 10 contracts here. And guys, these are MES contracts. We're short 10 contracts here. We have a lot of volume up here at the highs, both on the buy and the sell side. Sellers end up keeping this held down, which is great. We know they were showing presence from the action before. We can see how they're running through on the DOM. We do have some targets down here set out, down in the 81.25s, and we have some a little bit lower as well. Let me jump forward another 30 seconds. So here we go. More sell imbalance. We can't even break these highs. As soon as we test these highs and start falling off of it, sellers, sellers, sellers actively hitting the bid. Buyers are trying, which is good. We want the buyers to try and get rejected. That's going to make this fall harder and faster. Right now, the trade, the only way we're wrong on this trade is if we break over these highs. If we do not break over these highs, this trade is still intact. We have to hold the trade, and we have to trade this properly. Our average is currently 88.75, and I think this is as big as I get on this trade. We'll flip forward another 30 seconds here. We still see these sell imbalances coming in. Again, that's not 18, it's 180 something. When it's bolded like that or colored, it's an imbalance diagonally, whether it's to the buy or the sell side. We're getting some more sellers come in. This is great. So if we look at the whole upper part of this range, we see these big sell imbalances. Buyers tried. This candle right here is a super weak retail buy to me that sellers are just going to short into. Pushes forward a bit more. Again, every time we get back to this area, 210 and change by 8, right back into this area. Buyers cannot push price through this area. They went for it again. Get a 68 by 1. And this is the point where buyers are just in big trouble. You can just see this candle moving down. They really tried to make effort down here. Now sellers are actually printing imbalances down into the lows, putting pressure into the lows after the weak buying came through and could not prop this price up. Fast forward 30 seconds, we get a nice little wash. I think we hit our first partial, second partial here. We got a few out. I've got about half left on the trade. I'm just circling a few things for chat there. We're sending it out to the group just so everyone understands exactly what's happening. Fast forward a few more seconds here. And I'm checking out, this is our volume chart. So we use volume charts here. Again, I'm indicating to chat some areas that we could be looking for, okay? I'm indicating this area in the 75, 76s could be and should be a target for our trade, okay? And it should be a major target for your trade. So as we fast forward here, where do we get to on price? We get right down into this area, right? The 74, 75, 76 area, and this is where the buyers start propping the price and start participating again. They're willing to participate again within this area. Let's bring it forward a little bit more. I've got most of my position off, so I'm willing to hold. I'm actually looking for an add rather than to take the profit off. I took another small piece here, and I took this small piece off actually right in this area because we got a trigger. According to how we trade, we got a trigger to go long. Okay, so I'm short, and there was a trigger right in this area to go long. So naturally I'm going to want to take some more of my short off. Now, every single one of these long and short triggers don't work, so I'm still willing to hold a small little piece here, possibly get a break-even stop somewhere and see if we can break the lows. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I actually got the ad, and we went down to put pressure on the lows again. We couldn't break them to get to my next targets, and we actually moved higher, and I stopped out break-even. Just fly through this a little bit, see if I can get some of that action. So here we go. Now, on this candle where we popped through this range high, as soon as we pop through this high, we immediately get met with some higher volume, higher delta to the buy sides, and then bang, we just get imbalances on the sell side, and price completely stalls in this area. So this is where I opt to take my ad. My new average is 85.75, which is going to be right up here. I just simply go break even. I can't lose. I have more than double my remaining size, and now I'll look for targets down into these lows and through the lows. And this is how we compound a good trade when we're in a good trade. Now, it doesn't always work. Sometimes you're going to stop at and stop out break even, and that's just how it goes. This is trading, right? We get another imbalance here on a high break. That's a 120 and change by 22. It's not a 12 by 22. We're going in to put pressure on the lows again. And actually, as soon as we get down close to these lows, I don't know if it was this candle or the next one. Let's check it out. We'll just fly through here a little bit, the power fast forward. Yeah, this candle right here. Okay, so this is the candle right here. I was really close to taking the whole position off here because this candle ends up showing some strength, like buyers are holding, they're starting to hold price in this area, they're getting very active. I didn't, and I ended up stopping out break even. It is what it is, really. Again, that's trading. See, we're trying to make new lows here. We can't. We're printing sell imbalances into the lows. We just can't move any lower. More than buyers stepping in, I think sellers are actually giving up for the time being, and they're letting buyers have some fun. So I didn't get any off there, and we're so close to my target here. We were a point away from my target. Just trying to be patient with it and let price iron itself out. Printing more sell imbalances at the lows. Buyers just aren't letting this thing through. Go forward a little bit more. And that's pretty much the bounce there, and that's the opportunity that I had to take another partial on my ad, at least take a few contracts off, put some more money in the bank. I don't know if I want to call it a mistake, but I did recognize that this is the area I should have taken a partial on my ad. I didn't do it, and it's totally fine. This trade ends up coming back, and it stops us out break even. Let's just skip forward. Yeah, and there we go. So we get tagged out break even on that trade. I mean, go back hindsight. Yeah, I could have got a partial down here and really should have, because again, there was evidence that buyers were holding price up here and sellers were giving up. So that's a little idea of what we do in the room here. And today, all the while, while we were trading, we were on Zoom, we were live streaming, we're having chats with members. The chat room's doing great. What I'm going to do again is I'm going to extend a 2-week free trial for anyone who watched this whole video. If you are interested in a 2-week free trial in the chat room, no strings attached, leave a comment on this video. I promise you I will get back and I will get you in the chat room ASAP. You have nothing to lose. There's almost 300 of you subscribed to this channel, and if you guys just want to take a dive into the chat room, 2 weeks, just send me a message right in this comment section. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.